Hello everyone, and welcome back to more Thief Gold. Last time, we went through my absolute favorite mission, called The Sword. It's many people's favorite mission as well, to anyone who has played the game, and especially, more active members in the community or cult following, or whatever you want to call it. Because it's a very well-designed level, we basically raided yet another mansion, this time of a new face in the city, an eccentric nobleman and collector by the name of Constantine. And we learned a lot about this guy. Apparently he's... Well, we don't know if he's evil or how evil he is, but he's definitely not clean. We found some incriminating information that apparently he, killed people who trespassed on his property. And he's very suspiciously rich. He literally has large quantities of raw gold, which is, quite rich, even for this world. And he's also really into the occult and magic. And his mansion is really, really weird and confusing. Again, if you haven't seen the previous mission, I highly recommend you go back and watch the VOD, because it not only adds, some context to what we're doing right now, but also it's just, it's something that you have to experience. If not playing the game, preferably, at least watching it. It's really cool. But yeah, now it's we got the sword basically because we were hired by some mysterious benefactor to steal this guy's sword, which was on the top floor of the place. So now it's time to get our payment.
Garrett, it's Victoria. I trust you made it back alive. You've done well, Garrett. Come with me and bring the sword. There is someone you have to meet. It's time for the payment you've been promised.
Yes.
A refreshment, Mr. Garrett. I'm in the possession of a superior brandy that has the most restorative effect.
I prefer my payment in cash, not liquor, Mr.
My apologies. I've been watching you, Mr. Garrett, so closely, in fact, that I'm afraid I'd forgotten we haven't actually met yet. I am Constantine.
All this time I thought you were gonna pay me. You've brought me here to kill me?
But you have it all wrong, Mr. Garrett. Would it surprise you to know that it was I who hired you to steal my own sword? Yes. You see, Victoria and I are...
Old associates.
Yes. You were being tested, do you understand? And I must say, you more than live up to your reputation. You are quite an extraordinary thief.
Testing me? What is it you want from me, Constantine?
I am a collector, Mr. Garrett. But there are some items that are not available for purchase. They must be acquired using other means. In this case, the item in question would be best acquired by thieving. Not simple thieving, no. I need an artist like yourself.
What exactly is this item?
It is the gemstone called the Eye, for its unusual...
appearance.
Yes. Kept hidden in the sealed cathedral deep inside the halls of the scum Hammerites. Oh, but forgive me. You are possibly friendly with the Order of the Hammer.
No. Fanatics make unreliable friends.
Excellent. I am prepared to offer you quite a sum. 100,000 upon receipt of the Eye.
I don't see how I can refuse such an offer.
Marvelous. Victoria can fill you in on all the particulars. And Mr. Garrett, the sword, keep it. You have earned it, but also, I believe you'll find it useful in your quest.
I don't think you should have drank that, Garrett.
eye that Constantine wants is in the abandoned Cathedral of the Hammerites. The cathedral is located in a section of the city that was deserted years ago, after some kind of catastrophe. I've heard stories of the incident. Most are wild rumors about hordes of zombies and raging fires. Now that part of the city is walled off, and no one's allowed to go in. Not that many people would dare to in the first place. Maps of the area are easy to find in attics and old trunks. But like all of them, the one I've got is over 50 years old. I'll make my way through the ruins to the Hammerite Cathedral and find a way inside. Once I get inside the cathedral, I'll have to locate the eye. Something tells me that this is not going to be easy, but for the amount I'm getting paid, I'm willing to take some serious risks.
And some serious risks those are, indeed. Right, there's a lot to take in with this, from this last cutscene. So, Constantine was testing us. Big plot twist, I know. And something tells me the guy doesn't have anything wholesome planned for this gemstone, whatever it is. Of course, he claims he's a collector and the gemstone has like an unusual appearance and all that stuff. But let's be honest, it's very evident that that's not the full picture. That's not what's actually going on here. Whatever that liquid that he gave Garrett is very, very peculiar. Like it literally had vines and plants going out of it. That's something I never understood, because this is honestly never gonna be explained, like how Garrett drank that and he's just fine. Apparently nothing's gonna happen to him. A bit of a spoiler there, I guess, but yeah, I guess it just serves there as foreshadowing, even though I think it's kind of weird. But yeah, so this guy is evil. That much is obvious, and it's true. And Garrett is so like greedy that he literally doesn't see through this quite obvious facade. And yeah, something tells me that getting the gemstone won't be as easy as, oh, let's just break into the cathedral, grab it, and get out. But I guess we'll see what's gonna happen in this next mission, which is the Haunted Cathedral. We need to find the cathedral, find a way to get inside of the cathedral and steal the eye, take the opportunity to steal other valuables, as always. This objective here is, I believe, exclusive to hard difficulty. Let me see. Yep. So a valuable item called the Serpentine Torque is reputed to be somewhere in these ruins. Find it. So that's our special loot item for this mission. And this objective is actually quite an interesting one. And it's only on expert. There used to be a monument in this part of town called the Watchman's Grave that thieves would leave coins on for good luck. You have bought some coins just in case. This is a very weird objective to me, because Garrett has never seemed like the superstitious type to me, and yet he's like willing to risk his own skin to just leave coins instead of taking coins. Which, I don't know, I always found this very weird, a very weird objective, but it is what it is. We have to do this one, and of course I'll show how to do all of this as we go. But yeah, this, as you might guess by the name, is yet another combat-heavy mission. There's gonna be a lot of zombies, a lot of ghosts, a lot of fighting zombies and ghosts. We're gonna need a lot of holy water and blah blah blah. Yeah, it's you know how it is already. These missions tend to not really be very popular within the community. I personally don't mind them, at least most of them. And this one, it has a really cool atmosphere, at least. It's like a very pseudo-horror. I would even say straight-up horror, honestly, but not really for me, because I'm a horror fan myself, and this is not like, oh, it's so scary, I'm gonna crap my pants or whatever. But it still can be unnerving, especially the first time you play it. But let's begin. This is a moderately sized mission. It's relatively long. There are longer, but there's definitely shorter as well. Alright, we do have a tip. An acquaintance is willing to sell you some pages from a journal that he claims belonged to a long ago fighter of the undead. So basically, I think this just gives us hints where we can find more loot, basically. Not loot, more gear for fighting the undead. Stuff like more flash bombs, mines, fire arrows, and whatnot. Again, most of these tips, even on a first-time playthrough, I honestly think aren't that useful, because a lot of them are very vague, and you're probably not going to end up finding them useful anyway, and you're better off just spending your money and getting actual equipment instead. Especially if you're a very observant person, you're gonna want to like explore a lot, and if you do that, you will be rewarded anyway, so... yeah, I do not recommend getting the tips. There is only one exception, which we'll actually see very soon in one of the following missions. But for now, we can safely ignore the hints or the tips or whatever. I'm gonna grab some flash bombs. I find those more useful than mines. We're also gonna be able to get some mines here as well. And wow, what else can I get? Maybe no, mines are way too expensive. Rope arrows, no, I'm doing good. Oh yeah, we also have Constantine's sword. Yeah, well, the description is right there. But basically the way this sword works is that so every mission before this one, including the sword itself, except at the very end when you actually pick up the sword, it literally replaces your main weapon, your main sword. If you pull up your sword in the dark, it will, like, I guess, reflect light and thus make you more visible, kind of like when you equip an arrow, or especially a fire arrow, and you become a lot more visible in the dark. But with Constantine's sword, that is not the case. It basically acts like a blackjack. So when you equip it in the dark, you will still be pretty much invisible to the enemy. And that's basically the only power. I used to think that the sword also allows you to kill undead enemies with it, like ghosts, but that is not the case, because I have played some fan missions which don't have Constantine's sword. They just use the default sword, and you can still literally whack a ghost a bunch of times with your sword and the ghost disintegrates. That doesn't really make a whole lot of sense, but yeah, it is what it is. So basically that's the only unique thing about the sword, and it looks really cool, but it only looks cool because I'm using the HD mod. In the vanilla game, it's literally the exact same model as the regular sword, but black, I'm pretty sure. So at least it looks cool here. But yeah, nothing really crazy or special about that. And of course we also get the coins that you only get this item because you have to leave it at the Watchman's grave, so you only get it on expert. It's not a loot piece, even though it looks like one, which is also kind of confusing. Again, I really don't understand this objective, but whatever. Here's our goals again, but I want to show the map. And yeah, this is another one of those missions where the map is like really not descriptive at all, and the maps are only gonna get more cryptic as we go, I'm afraid. But we start right here in Rubin Street. These gear icons, I'm pretty sure, are actually like power supply units that you can basically turn on, like toggle to turn on electricity in the area that they cover. But yeah, we have a bunch of like streets here that we can use as, I guess, like landmarks or whatever. Oh, well, these are the landmarks right here, but these streets we can use to sort of guide ourselves to the cathedral. So we start at Rubin Street, so we have to follow Rubin Street until we get to Cathedral Street, and then follow that until we get to the cathedral itself. However, this area right here is actually blocked off, so we have to take a detour through this area, through Market Street and Aldale Street, I think. Again, don't quote me on that. I can't really read this map very well. It's not very useful, but I think that's how it goes. And yeah, we have some landmarks. There's I guess a food shop, I don't know. There's a tavern, there's a barber shop. All of these landmarks, or at least most of them, actually have loot as well. So keep an eye out for these places. So yeah, I guess we can begin. Pop a save right here. You have some readables, as always. Department of Public Works, work order. The power grid control box for the neighborhood around Southern Rubin Street is located inside a residence. It should be in a public workstation like all other power grid control boxes. We may need to build a new maintenance cell in that neighborhood. If so, be sure to contact the Census Bureau so that they can update the map. It is important that all public workstations be marked on the map with the gear icon, but we haven't been vigilant enough about this. Yeah, that's also a hint that if we look at our map, there's only 2 of these marked, but there's, I think, 4 in total. There's definitely one around here somewhere that you can turn on, and one right next, very close to the cathedral. So I think there's a total of at least 4, maybe even 5 power grid control boxes. I don't know the exact number off the top of my head. Normally, these are not recommended to turn on because they just make you more visible. But I'm gonna be turning them on just so that you guys can actually see what the hell is going on, because, you know, YouTube compression and all that. But normally I don't turn them on because, yeah, like they turn on all of these lights and you're basically a sitting duck. And there's a lot of enemies around here in this mission in general. Alright, I think we can get up there through here. If not, I'll just use a rope arrow. But we do have some goodies on this rooftop. Yeah, this is another mission where it's kind of like can be confusing if when you're playing this game for the first time. This mission, the layout of the place and all that. Mostly because the map is really not helpful at all. Like, you really gotta use your noggin for this. So the first time I played this game, I was like completely lost in this mission. I really hated it. Okay, this actually leads somewhere else, so... yeah, let's just use a rope arrow to get up here instead. Pick up this loot, this potion. And here we have some loot as well. Okay, not here, it's in the other room. I always get it confused. Okay, right there. There is a diamond on this at the end of this other wood beam. Oh, crap. Oh, going back up, I guess. Yeah, these pieces of loot here are really annoying, honestly. Oh, also, what is our actual loot objective? 2,000, okay. It's kind of annoying that it doesn't really say the loot goal. Like, the exact loot amount that you have to get every mission. But, it is what it is. Alright, we can actually go through here and end up where we want to be. Like, it's all interconnected, which is both a good thing and a bad thing. It's a good thing because there's multiple ways to go about reaching your destination. The bad thing is it becomes very easy to actually get turned around. So make of that what you will. But I always take this route because it's the most optimal route and where we get the most loot. So come down here to this basement. We will meet the new enemy type here. At least I think it's new. I don't think we've encountered it yet. Oh, there's water arrows here. I never even knew that. Interesting. Oh, there it is. So this is a crayman. There are these very weird, like, crab people. These guys are really tough, by the way. They have a lot of HP, but they're very slow. What's weird is that you can actually blackjack them. They're one of the few, like, hostile enemies, like non-human enemies that you can actually blackjack. I'm pretty sure you cannot blackjack ghosts, you can't blackjack zombies, but you can blackjack these guys. Yeah, also... I don't know if you can blackjack bug beasts. I think you can as well, but... yeah, oh wow, these guys actually look really freaky with the HD mod. They have these, like, weird antennas that they don't have in the base game. And these massive claws. Yeah, these guys are really, really creepy looking. Especially if you find arachnids disturbing. At least I think crabs are arachnids. Okay, here we have loot and I believe, yep, water arrows. We're gonna need these. There's gonna be a lot of zombies that we have to fight, unsurprisingly. Right, and now we're gonna go through a bunch of brick tunnels, which also have a lot of loot for us. Starting with this. Never have enough bricks, I guess. Okay, this is a place that I don't really like in the HD mod, because normally this has a very natural looking stone texture. This looks like stone bricks to me. So, it's supposed to be a cave, it's not supposed to be a big open chamber dig out for no reason. This room is very important because there's 4 pieces of loot, 1 in each corner. And yeah, these are really easy to miss. So do keep an eye out when you're playing this. Because I think the maximum amount of loot that you can get in this mission is around 2500. So the more loot you can get, the better. Yeah, this is the last piece. I believe there's a... I think I actually picked it up already, but I think there's a... Yeah, there is a key over here. I think it's to one of the power grid stations. Hello, Jonas. Welcome back to the stream. Ah! This isn't really fixed. Okay, that's funny, because this bug here with these floating mushrooms exists in both the original game, in Thief Goat, and apparently it wasn't even fixed in the HD mod, which honestly surprises me, because I know that this mod does add and move props around, so that's really, really amusing. Okay, that is even more amusing, because apparently these mushrooms were fixed. Because these mushrooms in these like little holes also are floating in the base game. They are fixed in the HD mod, but those ones aren't, which are a lot more obvious, I think. Oh wait, never mind. Those ones are floating as well. Yeah, you can tell that some of these levels were a little bit rushed because the team worked very hard on this game. Also, here's a very easy to miss piece of loot. It's really, really hard to spot this goblet because it kind of blends in with the darkness of the water. Alright, we're coming up to a bunch of bricks here, so get ready for a fight. Here's one. Now, what's annoying is that because of the running water, it's actually kind of difficult to hit these guys. At least this guy. You gotta get it like the right position to actually be able to smack him about. And I aggroed another one. You don't really have to kill these, by the way, because once you deal enough damage, they'll just start running away from you, so... no need to really kill them. Of course, sometimes they don't run away. I don't know what triggers that, but whatever. Hello, Jonas. Well, James. Welcome back. I had a really, really long and rough day. Ah! Okay, this is also weird. Why was this changed? Normally this is metal, and it makes a very loud noise when you walk on it, but the HD mod changes this to stone. A very odd choice, considering everything else is still metal. Whatever, I guess the guy just wanted to make this area a little bit easier, even though it's not really needed, because burricks are like probably the easiest enemy to fight, even easier than zombies. Because as long as you get up close to them, they literally pose no threat, because they can't hurt you. It's even easier when you sneak up on them like this. Also, there was a gold plate here, another very easy to miss piece of loot. These sewers have a lot of easy to miss loot pieces. I think this might be one of the hardest missions to actually get all the loot in, just because it's in such obscure places. Made a Raycaster. I don't really speak with Rai much. But that's cool, congrats. I've actually been meaning to look into the rendering of rendering engine of InDev Plus lately, but I've been putting it off in favor of working on InDev Plus because I just really don't want to deal with rendering right now. Like I've had so much work these past couple of weeks, and it's not really gonna get any better anytime soon because I'm basically replacing a colleague of mine who's on vacation right now, so I'm overloaded, and the last thing I want to do when I come back is deal with a bunch of rendering bullshit. Okay, that was weird. Normally zombies take 3 flash bombs, but that guy only took 2. Maybe because I actually sneaked up on him, I don't know. We have another one around the corner here. Oh crap. Wow, this guy actually took 4. Jeez. And he got a hit on me. Oh, that sucks. can enter a lot of these abandoned buildings, and a lot of them have loot. So it's a good idea to actually explore. And the physics are glitching out again. Fantastic. Was this ladder always here? Anyway, there's a plate here, and I believe the building across has a vase. Yep. There's two ways to enter this building. You can either do what I just did, a bunch of parkour, or you can pick the lock at the bottom. There's also a water arrow up here. Gonna take all the help I can get. Because there is an area, which is in the cathedral, believe it or not, with a very high concentration of zombies. So I'm gonna need a lot of holy water for that. Although usually a couple of well-placed mines takes care of most of them. The water, the holy water is the easiest way to deal with them. Get them on lines across the screen and scale them depending on the distance of each ray. I'm pretty sure that's what rendering is. Such a cool illusion. It's an illusion, but it's still rendering, because you're still rendering lines and stuff. Okay, here we have a new enemy type. This is the ghost. And yeah, if you smack him with your sword a few times, he just vaporizes. He's a ghost, and yet he's physical. Or at least physical enough that you can actually hurt him with your sword. Again, I always thought when I played this game for the first time that I can do that because of Constantine's sword, but that is not the case. In engine, at least, clearly. Maybe it's implied in the lore, because we actually run into this enemy after we get the sword. And in the cutscene, Constantine said, I think it's gonna be useful to you. But, I think that's the implication, but clearly the engine doesn't care, because, again, I've played a lot of fan missions for this game, and a lot of them have ghosts, and they don't have Constantine's sword, because that doesn't really make sense for the mission itself. And you can still kill the ghosts with your sword just fine, which is funny. Of course, holy water, light bombs, stuff like that also work on the ghosts, because they're considered undead, but so does the sword. So what's funny is that zombies are immune to swords and blunt weapon attacks, but ghosts are not. I love video game logic. Yeah, whoa. I've never been to this building before. And I'm being serious. I'm actually curious to see what this note is. Constable Thule is a degenerate. Okay. Every time we have a blackout, I have to go haul his ass out of the pub to get him to unlock the maintenance cell for the Market Street power grid. If he wasn't the Baron's nephew, they would have fired him months ago. So this is a hint where we can find the key for one of the power boxes. Again, normally you don't even want to turn these on. I'm just doing it for your sake, so you can actually see what the hell is going on. It's not like the light will kill the zombies or whatever, so like you really have no reason to turn it on other than to be able to see stuff, I guess. Speaking of which, there's another one. Smack. It's not what I expected. What did you expect from ray casting? Because that's literally what it is. You cast a line or a ray or whatever, and then do whatever you want to do with it. Engine also spots walls with multiple collision points. That's pretty cool. Sorry if I don't seem very enthusiastic about your project. I am impressed. I'm just tired. Like I can't even brain right now. I've had so much work today, and it's not really gonna change anytime soon. Had to work overtime as well, which is fun. Okay, that's... I thought there was a tower going up here. Oh, hello! Yeah, also, when these guys spot you, they fire projectiles at you, basically. Thankfully, they're very easy to deal with, because they're super slow, and if you just keep smacking them, you can stun lock them, so they'll never harm you. Just like the bricks, they don't really have a melee attack, so... They're a pushover, really. The zombies are honestly a lot more threatening than most undead enemies. Okay, this is the tower I was thinking of. That might not look like it because of the HD mod, but that is actually a wooden beam. And there is some loot to be had up here. Very easy to miss. Oh, and apparently there's an arrow here as well that was added by the HD mod. Oh, and oh, I cannot actually walk through here. Because I think these windows are bigger. I think they're smaller in the base game. So I was like, oh, maybe the guy actually made this more navigable by adding these windows that you can actually walk through. But no, that is not the case. Oh, well. I guess I have to go the long way. Making me lose my shit. I mean, I understand. I lost my shit when I figured out how to use lambda expressions last weekend. And I made the options not suck ass. Because you probably already know this, but the options code in vanilla Minecraft, like at least old Minecraft, is absolute dog water. You have to update basically 3 separate methods, which are really long if chains, every time you want to add a single option. So I basically rewrote it so that the constructor of the option handles everything. It handles the label, it handles the option value, and it handles the like method that sets the option. Oh, hello. I guess I'll smack this guy. You were going down. Why were you vomiting? Okay, this vomiting attack is actually really glitchy. But yeah, what was I talking about? Oh yeah, so my new options are basically everything is handled in the constructor using lambdas. So I don't have any long if chains anymore. All I have to do when adding a new option is declare it. And the best part is I can also rearrange them any way I want because they're all static. So I can just rearrange them and they get executed. They get like initialized based on their order in the code. So that's how I can arrange them any way I want. It's really, really convenient. It's way better than just having to deal with like adding to 3 different if statements, and additionally to that to the save and load as well, the save and load functions. Did you buried your video? Yeah, that tends to happen. Welcome back, Rai. Enum options, I was honestly really disappointed with it because the only thing it does is it makes it slightly more readable. But all the same problems are still there. You still have to deal with the massive if chain. The only difference is instead of having to guess, oh, what option is IG0? What option is IG5? Instead of having to guess that, you're like, okay, so this is the option for fucking, I don't know, showing the FPS or whatever. But that's the only thing that enums really do, if I recall correctly. I still had to deal with the if statement, and I was like, oh, screw that, I'm rewriting this completely. And the new option system is way better. It can be a little bit confusing to read, especially if you don't know lambdas and generics. But after you get the hang of it, this is like, I think the best way it could possibly be done. I can't think of a better way to do options, honestly. Crap, I really hope I didn't wake that guy up. This room is very interesting, by the way, that we're about to enter. Surprised mousing still hasn't changed their janky. I think that maybe they have, Rai, because the newest version that I have decompiled is 1.16, and that one still has the awful if chain, which is really awful. It's like 500 lines long because they have so many options. It's ridiculous. But maybe, just maybe, 1.20, 1.21 or whatever the newest version is, I don't even know anymore. Maybe that's being changed. I would hope so, anyway. Because every time they want to add a new option, they have to increase that freaking code bloat. I prefer enum options. I mean, enum options are much easier to read. Still don't get lambdas. Lambdas are really... You know what's funny? I also didn't understand lambdas before. Oh my dear lord. Freaking lag. Yeah, be careful when you're entering this room, by the way, because that mine is live. It will blow up on you and kill you in one hit. So, don't be fooled. And it's not a mine that you can pick up. No loot here, though. Did I get everything in the temple? I think I did. .21.6, okay. Also, this area, this street will lead us back to the beginning, I'm pretty sure. Will it? Is this? Oh, hello. How am I doing on holy water? I don't really want to waste holy water on this guy. Then again, I don't want to kill him in the middle of the freaking road. He's just gonna wake up again. Let's go in here instead. What is this? Oh, yeah, so now we're back here. We basically went full circle. Yeah, I'm gonna get turned around here very easily, despite having played this mission countless times, since I'm really tired. Okay, where am I going? I think I want to go to the barber shop next, and I know it's close by. Yeah, we're currently in the Perrin Street, so the barber shop is like between the Perrin, or I guess Rubin Street and Cathedral Street. The barber shop has some loot as well. How are we doing on that, by the way? Oh, we have 1,000 already. We're halfway there. Interesting building. Okay, this is where we got the plate. Okay, I think I know where we are now. I think for the barber shop we have to go this way. I think. No, I'm stupid. This is back here. Of course, there's many ways to progress, but my preferred route is taking the sewers over there. But I'm not gonna do that yet, because I want to find the barber shop first. Okay, it has to be around this corner then. Surely. No? Where the hell is this barber shop? It's the same house. I'm going around in circles right now. This is embarrassing. Okay, I think it's here. Has to be here. Yes, here we go. Okay, so vase there. No, this is the bridge. You can lower this bridge by using an arrow, but it's kind of glitchy. Let me see if I can do it. Yeah, you have to be very precise. There we go. So you can actually lower the bridge from out here. But the way I like to go about it, because it's a much safer route, is to take the sewers. But first I really want to find this goddamn barber shop. Where is it? Also, we do have a bank vault here that has some loot, so that's something at least. Did you just grayscale the lighting system for Infinite Theft Plus? It's been grayscale since day one. I don't really know what you mean. The only colors are the... I basically changed the light map colors per dimension, and also when there's a sunset. So the sunsets actually affect the light map colors, but otherwise the actual like block light is grayscale. Okay, yeah, here it is, finally. Yeah, this barber shop is always really annoying. I can never find this place, but there's a big vase here worth quite a bit. I think it's at least like 200. So very, very useful area there. Alright, let's actually proceed through the sewers now. I think we got all the loot in this area. I was talking about when you added the light map system from 1.2. Yes, I did. Again, it's been grayscale since day one. Because I wanted to preserve the aesthetic. I do honestly like the more like warm colors of Beta 1.8. I actually do like them. They're definitely better than the developer builds of Beta 1.8, which are literally piss color. I hate those. The ones we got are okay. But yeah, the grayscale lighting is pretty good. I've been considering, honestly, adding an option for the beta lighting, like the Beta 1.8 light colors, but I don't think it's gonna really fit with the overly saturated textures. So... But then again, I am coloring literally the entire world whenever there's a sunset. Provided you have fancy options turned on. Oh, by the way, very easy to miss piece of loot there. Honestly, the lighting system has changed so much, I have to do a lot of changing to make it a vanilla beta style system. I think ironically, the best lighting that the game has had is alpha/beta. There's another Crayman here. This guy is usually really easy to snipe, though. Because you're perfectly safe as long as you stay on this rock, so just hit him a few times with an arrow and you'll be fine. Definitely not a good idea to come up here while he's still alive, because he's gonna ruin your day. Oh, by the way, that key, this is, I think, the tavern. Yeah, this is the tavern. We're currently in the tavern right now. So that key was actually referenced in that note that we found. The guy who was like, oh, this constable guy is a total degenerate. He always gets drunk and loses the key in the tavern that leads to the power grid box thing. Yeah, this is this place. So... we can either pick the lock here or just use the... Okay, never mind, I was incorrect. Oh no, the key is for the outside. This is the tavern door, so we do have to pick this one. Remove the easing system if you want, but it will look off compared to how it should. Okay, so this is the area I mentioned earlier. There's a lot of zombies here, so my strategy, because by this point I have 5 mines, I just throw mines and I just wait for them to walk into them, because it's stupid as hell. The noise of the mine literally triggers them, and they're like, ooh, something's over there, let me check it out. And once they walk into the mine, it'll explode, just like that. So just repeat this until you run out of mines, and then kill the stragglers with holy water or whatever. So really easy to deal with these guys, because as you can see, there is a lot of them. You can also trigger the mines yourself with a regular arrow, or like distract them with an arrow. Unfortunately, that guy was not close enough to be killed. He only took damage. There we go, and last one. Go behind you, you idiot. Do I have a noisemaker? This might be the first time I'm actually gonna use... I have 10 noisemakers, Jesus Christ. Oh yeah, see? Because I shot an arrow there, now he's just slow to react, because he's a zombie. So this is what I mean. Noisemaker arrows are basically useless, because they do the exact same thing. I think the only thing making them more useful is... I'm pretty sure you can pick them back up. Whereas broadhead arrows, you can't. You can only pick up broadheads if you shoot them on a soft surface like this. Otherwise they break. But again, you get so many broadhead arrows that it really doesn't matter at all if you waste them on stone surfaces. Light maps are good on a technical standpoint. No matter how they look, you can modify them to your heart's content. So they're honestly a great thing, and they're a lot more efficient than the old engine. Alright, this door right here can be easy to miss, and this actually leads to the Serpentine Torque, which is one of our objectives, if you recall. This one. It leads to this, like, back area with, like, a really lavish mansion. Really fancy, really posh. Here it is. What's funny is that there's actually a key underneath the doormat, which unlocks the door. Really funny. Now, of course, because I'm a dumbass and I turned on the power, there's 2 haunts in this area. We've seen these guys before in the Bone Horde mission, except the haunts here actually have a lot more health than that haunt that we had to fight. So... what I like to do is I like to sneak up on one of them. And the other one is easier to fight. Because as you can see, these guys are really, really fast. You can still fight one of them relatively easily if you just keep circling him, but if you try to take on both of these guys at the same time, you're not gonna have a fun time. You can also, if we weren't so unlucky, because these guys go all the way upstairs, if they were actually upstairs when we entered, we could have just shut down the lights and sneak attacked both of them, but sadly the cards did not play out for us this time. I believe the same key opens up this door. Indeed it does. And the Serpentine Talk is upstairs. Just made a beta light map method. I don't remember which chest. There's 2 chests here. I don't remember which one has the Serpentine Talk. Okay, it's the other one next to the bed. And this is another light switch, by the way, so don't really need to mess with that. This area is awfully quiet. This is really eerie. Because normally there's always some sort of an ambience background track or like zombies or something making noise, but once you kill the haunts, this becomes really, really eerie. But yeah, we picked up the Serpentine Torque. It did, the objective notification did not show because it's broken, but there it is in our inventory. We still need more loot to get the loot objective, surprisingly, but there's still plenty more to explore in this level. You're going to get jump scared. No, there's no jump scares in this game because it's an actually good game. I digress. Jump scares can be good if executed properly. The thing is, it's really hard to execute a jump scare well. Most of the time they feel cheesy. But there are some games that do them well. Okay, so the key we picked up, we actually have 2 copies of it. Opens up this gate. Okay, that is a bug with the HD mod, because in the vanilla game the gate opens up vertically. That is very, very strange. Anyway, let's turn this on. Let there be light. Loot there. I believe there's loot here. No. There's definitely something here. Okay, this just leads back out there, and I think there's stuff upstairs. If I'm not mistaken. Apparently not. Okay, I'm really misleading you guys right now. Okay, aha! There is a very easy, hold on. What's the best way to do this? I think like this. That was the worst way. Can I make that jump? I can, okay. Now I'm gonna shoot a rope. That is not a rope arrow. A rope arrow, right there. I bond to it, and right here, very easy to miss piece of loot. How are we doing now? Okay, there we go. We got our loot objective with that. Again, these vases are really well hidden, but they're worth quite a lot. I think at least 200, maybe 250. And you remember Watchman's Grave? That's where we're about to go next. That's God. I was quoting God. I'm actually replaying Portal 2 right now. These days. A really fun game. Ironic, because we were talking about it, like, I think last stream, James, and I said, oh, Portal 2 is not really a game I would replay often, because once you know the puzzles, like, you already know how to solve them. And yet, here I am replaying it. I had actually forgotten a few of the puzzles, but the moment I'm actually, you know, playing, I immediately, like, remember them. So it's still not... Okay, that was an absolute freaking waste. Oh well. I don't think there's any more zombies to worry about, so... There are spiders here, so that's why... There's the Watchman's Grave, we put the coins. There are spiders, which is why I prepared this rope arrow. You need a very quick escape from the spiders. I know you do, James. No need to. Would you live in this town? No. I mean, if you remove all the zombies, maybe. But even then, there would be the problem of, oh, I don't have enough food. I'm literally starving. But I do like the solace and, like, emptiness. This area is a little bit dangerous because there is a fire shade down here. So just immediately go next to this ladder. Because, as you might guess, this is the only other mission other than the... what was it? The Bone Horde, I think, that has the fire shade. Because we are required to use fire arrows in this. This spider is really annoying. Because it's actually guarding loot. You're a hater. How am I a hater? I'm just saying that once you know how to solve the puzzles, every replay of Portal 2 is less and less exciting. At least to me personally. With stuff like Half-Life, even Half-Life 2, there's like different ways that combat encounters can go. With Portal, it's always the exact same puzzle with the exact same solution, which is why I don't think the game has replay value. That's why it's important that the game has like mod support and custom like community-made chapters and chambers. That's what's keeping the game alive, not the replay value, because there's absolutely none of it. I'm sorry, but that is just facts. Straight up facts. Alright, this area is really annoying because there's like a billion freaking bullets. Usually I actually resort to fire arrows here. Fire arrows are relatively effective against them. Because once you have more than one burrick, you can't just walk up to one and start hitting it. Because the other one will start vomiting on you. Like that. Wow, I took way too much damage there. I need to be more careful now. Because these guys are actually dangerous in numbers. They might be pathetic when you fight them one by one, but in numbers they're really, really annoying. Where the hell are my fire arrows? Did I waste all my fire arrows? Am I actually gonna have to go up to the shade? Okay, no. And to top it up, there's a spider. See, this is what I mean. You can technically sneak past all of these guys, but it's really annoying. I would rather just fight them. It goes way quicker. This is why people hate these missions. This game is about sneaking, not combat. Janky combat at that. Like, all these corpses are actually mean that I can't really maneuver this area as well now. Eat the bricks. Play Portal Evolution. It is on my list, yeah. Actually, I haven't really played any Portal games. Portal mods, rather. I really should get into that. Something Fallout New Vegas did right. Every town had an in-game food and water source explaining how they managed to survive. I mean, Roy, you literally missed the introduction. This section of the city is abandoned because some catastrophic event happened here in the past. So it was overrun by zombies and all sorts of other nasty creatures and engulfed in flames and stuff. So that's why there's no one here, because this area of the town is abandoned. You're missing the context. Okay, fine, you can go. I'll spare your life. Fucking bastard. I think there are... Yes, okay. That just leads back to the tunnel with the shade, with the fire shade thing. We don't want to go there. There is a note up here that gives us a hint to the Serpentine Torque. Sadly, we already got it, but let's read it anyway. The foolish old man who currently owns the Serpentine Torque lives on a barren side street west of the Cathedral Street drawbridge. I visited his small but wealthy residence last week in order to purchase the Torque from him, but he obstinately deflected any arguments and offers. Oh, my arguments and offers. He says it is a custom of his people to present the gift of such beauty to their brides-to-be before marriage. At 70 years of age, I don't know what sort of maiden he thinks will be tempted to wed him. I mean, you never know. Someone could wed him for the money, because clearly he's loaded. I'm not sure if I should now proceed to use force, or perhaps find a way to pilfer the Torque from him. I understand that there is a thief one can hire who lives nearby, close to Deperin Street. That thief is actually the, used to live in the room where the live mine was. So it's like a double hint. It's like, oh, there's something for you, like some gear that you can get in Deperin Street, but also the Serpentine Torque is on a side street west of the Cathedral Street drawbridge. So look around the bridge, basically. But we already got all of that, because again, I've played this game many times before, so I know exactly where everything is. There is also, I think there's something here, I hope so. I hate good things. Dude, stop calling me a hater. I like Portal 2, I'm just stating it's not very replayable in my opinion. I'm not saying it's a bad game, don't put words in my mouth. Oh wow, apparently both of these guys are on low health. Okay, this is the last power grid station. And another easy to miss piece of loot is up here. One of the last ones actually for this mission. Do make a note of this area because we will be coming back here later. Thief level compatibility. Hey, you guys remember when Notch was like, oh, I'm gonna add a Doom level importer, should be easy. So many false promises. Hate it with sprinklers on top. You hate good, though literally died. Right, we're almost at the cathedral. This is Oldale Street. So, yeah, we're currently right here. So, as I said, the main way to get to the Cathedral Street is, like, blocked off. So we had to take a detour through Market Street and Oldale Street. But now we're almost at the cathedral. So I was actually correct. I'm surprised, because I never really paid any attention to the map. Now, there's two ghosts here. One of them patrols the down area, like the down street area, but there's also one up there. You can barely see him. So for that one, I actually use holy water, and I just shoot him. Because otherwise he will spot you and he'll start shooting at you, and he's gonna be really annoying. Siding combat. Riveting gameplay. And this other guy, you can just sneak up behind him. Oh, come on. Don't start acting like a ghost after I've hit you already. I think that was our last piece of loot, by the way. How much do we have? We have 2,635. I think that might be all of the loot in the mission. Not sure. Alright, here's the entrance. Warning! Great evil resides in this place and it is no longer fit for men. The doors are sealed to protect us from that which lies within. Do not remain here. That does not sound very encouraging. Let's break in! We cannot break in. And these statues look very suspicious. Let's go around back. Maybe there's a way to enter around back. Who knows? I mean, I know, but you guys don't. Not said random BS all the time, yeah. Torch Burnout haters say it doesn't make sense because it's just something random Notch said. I mean, Torch Burnout in the base game is awful. I think even in In-Depth Plus it can be annoying, but at least there it has an excuse to exist. As a balancing thing.
Comes a man to rescue me. Poor man. The keepers have sealed the door. And only they know how to open them. Cross you the bridge to the grotto of the keeper's sentinel. Stand you on the pedestal and illuminate the statue with fire. Then you discover the secret of the talisman.
Alright. I mean, I don't know why we literally can't just walk through this massive open window and just grab the eye, but whatever. So we got new objectives. We need to follow the eye's directions in order to learn how to get inside the cathedral. So the mission is not over yet. As I said, it won't be that simple. Also, the fact that the eye literally talks to us telepathically means that it's definitely not a good thing. We probably shouldn't mess with this, but again, we gotta pay the rent somehow, so might as well. Do an evil nobleman's bidding. I didn't even know that Voxels in Time has Touch Burnout. Interesting. It's probably very poorly implemented because Sith... No hate on Sith, he makes really impressive stuff, but when it comes to game design, he is a bit lacking. He has good ideas, but his execution isn't the best. In my opinion. It happens every time there's a cave sound, which is a lot. Okay, that's not too bad, but... As long as cave sounds actually happen underground and aren't bugged like they are in Infinite Plus, then that's okay-ish. But if you have an underground base, that can get annoying. So yeah, I actually said to come to the Keeper's Grotto, which is this. You can tell because there's a big lock here. And there's a statue right there. We need to shoot a fire arrow there. That is why there's a fire shade here, because if you run out of fire arrows, in the base game you're basically soft-locked. So if you run out of fire arrows, which really shouldn't happen because the game throws so many at you, but in case you do, you can go back to those tunnels where we actually heard the fire shade and just whack it a few times and get some fire arrows. Voxels in Time is cool. It is cool. It's not my favorite mod ever, but definitely a cool concept. I have 13 fire arrows, Jesus. What about James? How is his design? No comment. Alright, let's shoot this guy. And that will open up that. Might as well open up this chest. I mean, we're almost at the end of the mission. We don't really need anything, but... I'm a completionist, so... I see a locked chest, I must unlock it and get whatever is inside, even if I don't need it.
Looks like this place was built by my old pals, the Keepers. I wonder what they're hiding in here.
Keepers! Not the first time we've seen these guys, and definitely won't be the last. So this is apparently an abandoned sanctuary of the Keepers. If you recall from literally the very first mission, the Keepers are the secret organization that took us in and basically trained us, and then we just ran away or something, I guess. Then decided to pursue a life of crime instead because we're cool like that. So yeah, these guys basically know what's happening across the city at all times. They're very mysterious. They're basically this world's version of the Illuminati. That's basically what they are. Happen in the dark. Hybrid survival. Lanterns are immune to it, but you need glowstone, which is only in a few versions, locking it out. Yeah, that is kind of dumb. How is my design? You barely have any, no offense. Like, all you've been doing so far is technical things, which, don't get me wrong, is important. But when it comes to game design, you haven't really done any major overhauls for me to comment on that. Chatting levels. How are you number 2, Jonas? That is so weird. You barely chat. Yeah, the chatting levels are very broken. Anyway, it's You have to do a very, very simple puzzle here. You basically have to put a bunch of rubber on this, which is glitchy as everything with this game. There we go. You see it fall down. That will activate the door, I think. And in order to open the gate, we have to stand on the other pedestal, and that'll open the gate. And we have just enough time to actually squeeze past before they close. Levels make no sense to even get it random. Yeah, that's what I'm thinking too. Why would they even add it? I don't know, dude. I kind of want to turn them off, but I haven't really been vigilant enough in actually looking into it. Because normally whenever I end the stream, I'm so tired that I just go have dinner or just lie down. Because I'm an old man. There are traps there, so make sure to crouch. And right here, there's a very silly trap. This wall will start moving towards you, but it's so freaking slow. I swear, it was not this slow when I first played the game. It felt a lot faster. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe it only felt faster because it was my first time playing the game. And I probably should stop speaking because in the end it probably will kill me. But I think it might be bugged with New Dark. I think New Dark breaks moving objects like this and makes them a lot slower. Because I think the first time I played this game, I didn't even know what New Dark was. So I played the original and it was working properly. There's two ways to get past this. The first way is to just shoot a rope arrow up there, which doesn't work because the HD mod creator actually thought about that and added a gate. So we do have to pick the lock. But in the base game, if you're not using the HD mod, even in Thief Goat, that metal gate is not there. So you can literally just use a rope arrow and climb over it. But this is, I guess, it makes it a bit more intense. Except the HD mod creator didn't fix the fact that this thing moves so slow. I mean, look at it. It's pathetic. And I think we have to go to the left first. Yes. We have a key and a weird stone tablet thing and 2 notes. Keeper Andrus, we are relieved to hear that you have successfully contained the destruction. It was for just such a contingency that the elemental wards have been saved these many years, and we support your decision to use them now, as the peril that you have described is grave indeed. We urge you to hide the talismans with great care, as their discovery could lead to another such catastrophe. We worry also that your actions have exposed the truth of our existence to the world, which we must not allow. Yours in knowledge, Keeper Lucas. Interesting, so elemental wards and talismans that we have to find to open the door. And this is really literally foreshadowing. It can get more obvious than this. If we unlock the cathedral and get the eye, bad stuff will happen again. But Garrett doesn't care. He just wants to get paid. So I guess he thinks that he's above all of this and it won't affect him. But I guess we'll just wait and find out what happens. Keeper Lucas, we have received the word of your fears, and we understand and indeed share them. We do not likely take the decision to involve ourselves in this matter. However, we believe that we were compelled to act. Were the trickster not opposed, he could bring destruction upon the entire city and upon us as well. We have endeavored to conceal our efforts as best we can. I can only hope that we have been successful. Yours in knowledge, Keeper Andrus. So, the trickster, if you recall from earlier missions, earlier streams, is basically this world's version of Satan. He's the god of chaos and destruction and evil, and there's a sect that follows him called the Pagans, and they're all about like, oh, nature has to take over, and they're against progression and all that stuff. So basically what we've gathered so far, Constantine, who we had to steal his sword in the last mission. It turns out that we were working for him all this time, and now he wants us to steal the eye. He's really into paganism. He's really into the occult, into magic. And he wants us to steal an artifact which literally the trickster himself allegedly used to bring destruction upon the city. And the keepers were the only ones who could stop him. And now we're doing it all over again. So this pagan guy, this pagan supporter, Constantine, definitely doesn't have anything good planned for the eye. But hey, we're gonna go through it anyway, because at the end of the day we get paid 100,000, so why not? Like, all these missions only give us about an average of 2,000, so that's still a lot. I guess our plan is once we get paid, we're going to just move to a freaking isolated island somewhere and just hope that this never reaches us. Even though I'm pretty sure that if you mess with a freaking pagan god, you can't really escape so easily, but what do I know? And here we have a map that actually shows us which quarter each talisman is in. So the water talisman was hidden in the old quarter. The air talisman is in downtown. The fire talisman is in Newmarket, and the earth talisman is in Hightown. Interesting. And there is a very important note here as well. Upon this map are the locations of the elemental talismans, which alone can unlock the wards placed upon the cathedral door. The locations are recorded here in the event that we may one day find it necessary to re-enter the cathedral. The portal key in the library must be used to access the lost city entrance where the talisman of fire is being kept. The water talisman has been hidden in a shrine located in the caverns below the old quarter of the city. The talisman of air is being kept by the Hamorites, and the earth talisman was left to the Hand Brotherhood. A lot to take in. So if you recall, the main gate of the cathedral was locked, and there were those 4 statues with very familiar looking symbols. Each one of those statues is supposed to hold one of the talismans. There's 4 elemental talismans: fire, water, air, and earth. And basically, in order to get to the eye, we have to get each and every one of these talismans. So yeah, this is basically the end of this mission, because we can't really do much from here. Each mission, each talisman has its own mission tied to it. So there's a mission where we get the fire talisman, one where we get the water talisman, yada yada yada. So we have to, like, each one of these like areas that we have to visit is its own mission. Now there is a difference here between this and the original game, because remember, we are playing the Gold Edition. In the original game, there's only 2 missions where you get the talismans instead of 4. The talisman of fire and water is actually, both of them are found in the Lost City. And once we do that mission, I'll actually show you where both of them are. The fire talisman is still in the same location, but the water talisman was obviously moved. So that's like the main difference there. And in the base game also, the earth talisman and the air talisman, both of them are with the Hamorites. So both of them are in the Hamorite mission. So 2 of the 3 new missions added in Thief Goat are actually the missions where you get the talismans here, which makes total sense. They fit into the story quite well. One of them introduces a new faction called the Hand Brotherhood, which is basically a faction of mages. They basically believe in the elements. That's their religion, basically. So you have the pagans who believe in nature and the pagan god, the trickster, chaos, destruction, and all that stuff. Then you have the Hamorites, who believe in justice and the progress of construction and all that stuff, civilization, whatever, and the Master Builder. The Keepers, who don't really believe in anything, they're just basically the Illuminati. And now we have the Hand Brotherhood, who believe in the elements, and they can use magic and all that crazy stuff. I actually really like the Hand Brotherhood, but I don't like their mission. You'll find out why in the next stream, because that's the next mission. But yeah, really interesting stuff. So that's why I actually said once we did the Thieves Guild that I think that mission could have been left out, because not only is it really overwhelming when you first play the game because it's so confusing to navigate in, but also it literally doesn't add anything to the story. Literally the next mission, the sword, starts off with Garrett saying, oh, this new mysterious client who contacted me and wants me to steal something for him, he was so impressed with the way I handled Ramirez, not the way I handled the Thieves Guild. So literally, it doesn't add anything to the story, which is why I really don't like that mission, other than the fact that it's just really not well designed, in my opinion. It also doesn't really contribute to the plot. Anyway, rant over. I swear, half of these streams are just me ranting instead of actually playing the goddamn game. But I'm just really passionate about this game. I think the overall like story and atmosphere and world building in this game is fantastic. The developers did a fantastic job. The gameplay is hit or miss. Sometimes, like especially the combat focused levels like this one, I'm not crazy about. But other levels are really great, like the sword. But yeah, and exiting out of this screen will complete the mission. I'm not gonna read that because literally the mission is gonna be over. There we go. Seen large chats have a number one guy that haven't chatted for a solid hour base. Alright, so yeah, not everything went according to plan. We did find the cathedral, but we did not get inside the cathedral to steal the eye. We did find a way to get inside though, but it's complicated, as I discussed over the past 5 minutes. We grabbed 2,000 loot, we located and sold the Cipital Torque, we left some coins on the Watchman's grave for good luck. This objective here always confused me, right? Exit the ruins is marked as failed, and I guess that makes sense because we never exited the ruins, because if you recall, we had to like activate 2 different pillar thingies to open both gates, but then we had to step off of one of them and the other gate closed behind us afterwards. Not to mention that moving wall towards us, we can't really like do anything about that, and if you consider the HD mod cannon, which also adds like that those iron bars up above you, we can't like rope over the wall either. In the base game you can, but that still doesn't explain how we leave through the actual like main gate, because it's closed now. So this is one thing that's like never explained. I guess the developers didn't have enough time to think it through. I always found that weird, so just a weird side note there. Of course, the game will continue as normal with the next mission. And we got the portal key out of the Keeper's Library. I don't even know why that's an objective, because once you see that, you're instinctively gonna pick it up. You're like, oh, this looks cool. Is this like a piece of loot? But no, we actually need that to enter the Lost City. So yeah, the next mission is actually the longest one in the game. I was wrong about Thieves Guild. The next one is actually even longer. So I'm gonna take probably an extended break to prepare myself mentally for that. So the next stream will probably be on Friday or Sunday. I haven't decided yet, so keep an eye out around that time, Friday or the weekend. But yeah, until then, thank you all very much for watching and have a good one. Bye bye.